New York's streets pulse with holiday bustle, but a single moment can shift a lifetime. Blake Whitaker, a millionaire, hardened by success, pauses outside a glittering mall when two homeless twin boys, Harper and Piper, beg for their sick mother's medicine. Their serious eyes pierce his armor and a silver ring, his gift to his lost love. Malene sparks a flood of memories. What secrets tie these boys to Blake's past? This kindness in real-life tale weaves kindness, family, and second chances, proving a warm gesture can thaw the coldest heart. Will Blake's compassion rewrite his legacy? Share your thoughts below. Drop a comment and join our community. The December air sliced through Blake Whitaker's cashmere coat as he stepped out of Westfield Mall, his phone pressed to his ear. Snowflakes dusted Fifth Avenue, catching in the glow of holiday lights while shoppers bustled past with glittering bags. Finalize those contracts by tomorrow, he barked to his legal team, his angular face set in a familiar scowl. At 40, Blake's athletic build filled his tailored suit, his fair skin flushed from the cold. Another deal closed, another tower to his empire. His chauffeur was late again. Checking his watch, he barely noticed the small voice cutting through the street's din. "Sir, please help us." Blake nearly strode past, as did every passerby laden with luxury, but the voice, earnest and unbroken, made him pause. Two boys, identical twins no more than 8, huddled on the sidewalk, their honey blonde hair peeking from worn knit caps. Their serious eyes, too old for their small faces, held a quiet dignity. The bolder one, clutching a paper cup, spoke again. "Our mom's really sick. We need money for her medicine." Blake's instinct, honed by years of skepticism, flagged a scam. Kids used as props, yet their clean, patched jackets and steady gazes felt different. The quieter twin, shivering slightly, added, "She's in the hospital. 3 days now." Blake reached for his wallet, his sharp blue eyes scanning them. As he dropped a 50 into the cup, a glint caught his attention. The bolder boy wore a silver ring on a chain around his neck, its sapphire nestled between tiny diamonds. Blake's breath caught that ring. His grandmother's given to Malene Reed 10 years ago when love felt eternal. "That's a pretty ring," Blake said, voice steady despite his racing pulse. "Where'd you get it?" The boy's hand closed protectively over it. "It's Mom's. I'm Harper. This is Piper." "This." Blake crouched, snow soaking his trousers, his intense expression softening. "And your mom's name?" Harper hesitated, then answered, Malene Reed." The world tilted Malene, his first love, who vanished without a word a decade ago. The sidewalk's clamor faded, leaving only the boys' faces, their eyes eerily familiar like his mother's. "Which hospital?" Blake asked, voice barely audible as memories surged, Malene's laughter, her architectural sketches, their dreams. Harper pointed vaguely downtown County. General Blake stood, mind reeling. "His driver." Aaron pulled up, concern creasing his face as he saw his boss kneeling before two street kids. "Mr. Whitaker, everything okay?" Aaron asked. Blake's gaze didn't waver from the twins. "Change of plans. We're taking these boys for food." Harper's eyes narrowed, suspicious, but Piper's stomach growled audibly, betraying hunger. "Come on," Blake urged, softer now. "You're freezing." The boys exchanged a glance, a silent pact, and nodded. 30 minutes later, the diner's warmth enveloped them, its coffee-scented air, a stark contrast to the icy streets. Red vinyl booths glowed under fluorescent lights, and a jukebox hummed an old holiday tune. Blake sat across from Harper and Piper, watching them devour cheeseburgers like they hadn't eaten in days. Their small frames, bundled in oversized hand-me-downs, seemed to grow with each bite. Harper. The bolder wiped ketchup from his chin, his serious expression unwavering. Piper, quieter, nibbled fries, his gaze darting to Blake with shy curiosity. "The doctors say Mom needs an operation," Harper said between bites, his voice matter-of-fact. "But we don't have insurance." Blake's chest tightened while he'd built skyscrapers. Malene had been struggling, her sons begging on corners. "How long have you been in this situation?" he asked, choosing his words carefully. Piper shrugged, his soft voice barely audible. "Always, I guess." "Got worse when Mom got sick," Harper added. "We had an apartment once. Mom worked 3 jobs, but she got tired all the time. Then real sick." His words carried a weight no child should bear. Piper's eyes, mirroring Harper's, flickered with something like hope. "Mom taught us to be invisible, not bother people. But when she went to the hospital, we had to do something." Blake's phone buzzed, Warren, his assistant, demanding his whereabouts for a board meeting. For the first time, Blake ignored it, his focus locked on the boys, their eyes, their age, the timing. It all pointed to an impossible truth. They had to be his, Maline's disappearance. Her silence suddenly felt heavier. "I'd like to visit your mom," Blake said, voice gentle but firm. "Would that be okay?" Harper's gaze sharpened, protective. "Why do you know her?" Blake hesitated, the ring's sapphire glinting in his mind. "I did a long time ago. Before you were born." Piper's head tilted, curiosity winning over caution. "Were you friends?" Blake's lips curved faintly, a ghost of a smile. "Something like that." Harper's hand drifted to the ring on its chain, twisting at a nervous habit. "Mom cries sometimes when she looks at this. Says it's from before everything went wrong." The words landed like a blow. Maline, vibrant and dreaming now, fighting for her life. Her sons fending for themselves. Blake's wealth, his empire, felt hollow. The diner's waitress refilled their coffee, her apron stained, but her smile kind. Blake leaned forward, his angular face etched with resolve. "I think I can help your mom. If you'll let me." Harper's eyes narrowed, pride flaring. "We don't take charity. Mom says we make our own way." Blake nodded, recognizing Maline's stubborn spirit in her son. "It's not charity. Consider it a debt I owe." As they finished eating, Warren's silver Mercedes screeched to a halt outside, visible through the diner's frosted windows. Blake stood, placing protective hands on the boy's shoulders. "Let's go see your mom." Harper clutched the ring, his serious gaze meeting Piper's, then Blake's. "Okay, but if you're lying, we'll know." Piper's small hand slipped into Blake's, tentative but trusting, and Blake felt a pang, fatherhood unclaimed but undeniable. Outside, snow fell thicker, blanketing the city in quiet. Warren stepped from the car, his polished shoes crunching ice, his expression a mix of irritation and disbelief. "Blake, the board's waiting. What are you doing with these kids?" Blake's grip tightened on the boy's shoulders, his voice steady. "Something I should have done 10 years ago." The twins climbed into the Mercedes, their patched jackets stark against the leather seats. As the car pulled away, Blake glanced at Harper's ring, its sapphire catching the streetlights. Maline's face flashed in his mind, and with it, a decade of questions. This was only the beginning. Will Blake's reunion with Maline unravel a decade of secrets or deepen the mystery of her disappearance? Like this video to support more heartfelt stories at Kindness in Real Life. The hospital corridor reeked of disinfectant, its fluorescent lights casting a sterile glow over Blake Whitaker's polished shoes. Snow clung to his cashmere coat, melting into droplets as he guided Harper and Piper through County General's maze. The twins' patched jackets hung loose on their small frames, their honey blonde hair damp from the storm outside. Harper's serious eyes scanned the hallway, his hand clutching the silver ring on its chain, while Piper's quieter gaze stayed fixed on Blake, seeking reassurance. Blake's angular face, usually set in command, softened with each step toward Maline Reed's room, his heart hammering with a decade's worth of questions. "Mom's in here," Harper whispered, pausing outside room 412. "She looks different. The medicines make her tired." Blake nodded, his fair skin paling as he braced himself. Nothing prepared him for Maline's frail figure against the stark white sheets. Her honey blonde hair, once vibrant, lay limp around her hollowed, medium olive-toned face. Monitors beeped softly, marking her labored breaths. At 38, she was a shadow of the woman who'd filled his dreams, her slender frame swallowed by the hospital gown. "Mom," Piper said gently, approaching the bed. "We brought someone." Maline's eyes fluttered open, unfocused, then sharpened with alarm. "Boys, what have I told you about?" Her words died as she saw Blake. 10 years dissolved in a glance. "Blake," her voice cracked, barely a whisper. "Is that you?" He stepped closer, his athletic build filling the cramped space. "It's me, Maddie." Her nickname slipped out, raw with memory. Maline tried to sit up, wincing, her oval face etched with pain. "You shouldn't be here. Please go." Harper, clutching the ring, interjected, "Mom. He wants to help. He knew about your ring." About. Maline's gaze darted to the sapphire, then back to Blake. Panic rising, "Boys, wait outside," she said, voice firm despite her weakness. The twins hesitated, exchanging a glance, but obeyed, their footsteps fading down the hall. Alone, Blake's composure wavered. "Why didn't you tell me?" His voice was raw. "They're mine, aren't they?" Tears welled in Maline's eyes, confirming what the ring had whispered. How did you find us? They were outside Westfield asking for money. Harper was wearing your ring. My grandmother's ring. Blake ran a hand through his dark hair, pacing. God. Maddie, I've wondered for 10 years why you vanished. Maline looked away, her slender fingers clutching the blanket. You wouldn't understand. Blake's jaw tightened. Try me. What happened? My father. What did he do? Before she could answer, a nurse bustled in with a tray of medication. Sorry to interrupt, Miss Reed. It's time for your treatment. Maline seemed relieved by the pause, but Blake pressed, What's wrong? What are they treating you for? The nurse checking charts answered matter-of-factly, heart failure. She needs a valve replacement. Blake's world tilted again. I'll pay for everything, whatever she needs. No. Maline snapped, her voice fierce despite her frailty. I don't want your money, Blake. I never did. The nurse glanced uncomfortably between them, then excused herself. Blake leaned closer, his intense eyes locking onto hers. Why are you so stubborn? Let me help you. Help our sons. Maline's eyes flashed. Our sons. You don't know the first thing about them. Where were you when we were evicted, when they went hungry? I didn't know they existed. Blake's voice cracked his composure, shattering. If I had everything, would have been different. Maline turned away, tears streaming down her cheeks. Go ask your father about that. The words hung heavy, a clue to her silence. Blake found the twins on plastic chairs outside, their small faces drawn with worry. Piper's voice trembled. Is Mom okay? Blake knelt, forcing a calm he didn't feel. She needs rest, but I'm going to help. Harper's eyes narrowed, too perceptive for his age. Why would you help us? Nobody just helps. Blake's heart ached at the cynicism in his son's voice. Sometimes people do, he said, though he understood their doubt. I care about your mom. We were close once Harper's bluntness cut through. Were you her boyfriend? Blake hesitated, then nodded. A long time ago. Then why didn't you stay? Piper's soft question stung deeper. Before Blake could answer, Warren appeared, his polished suit out of place in the dingy corridor. Blake, this has gone far enough, he said, eyeing the twins with disapproval. The board's furious. Your father's asking questions. Blake's voice turned cold. Not now, Warren. Now. These are Maline's sons, Harper and Piper. Warren's calculating gaze shifted. There are 1,000 sob stories in this city. Don't be manipulated enough. Blake snapped, his protective instinct flaring. They haven't eaten properly in days. Their mother needs surgery. I'm not debating this. Warren's mask slipped, revealing unease, but he nodded. How can I help? Blake didn't trust the sincerity but needed efficiency. Find them a place near the hospital. Clothes, food, whatever they need. Warren hesitated. Your father's dinner with the Japanese investors. Blake's tone was final. Cancel it. As Warren departed, Harper watched Blake intently. Mom says to be careful of men in nice suits. They make promises they don't keep. Blake felt the weight of those words, Maline's lessons born of betrayal. Your mom's smart, but I'm not going anywhere. Harper twisted the ring, unconvinced. That's what they all say. The hospital's intercom crackled, announcing visiting hours. Blake returned to Maline's room, finding her sitting up stronger but still pale. Your father's here, she said quietly, hearing Victor Whitaker's commanding voice echo down the hall. Blake's stomach churned. I heard him. What happened? Maddie, what did he do? Maline's voice was low, he said. If I stayed, he'd destroy your future, that I was holding you back. Harper, lingering at the door, slipped his hand into Maline's. Who's that man? Mom. Her eyes never left Blake's. Your grandfather, Sweetie, Piper, behind his brother, whispered. We have a grandfather, Blake muttered. Not one worth knowing. Maline's soft rebuke stopped him. Don't. They have too little family, as it is. Victor's voice grew louder, demanding to see his son. Blake faced the twins. Stay with your mom. I need to talk to him. In the corridor, Victor stood impeccable in a bespoke suit, his silver hair gleaming under the lights. At 65, his lean build radiated authority. What the hell are you doing? He demanded. Abandoning your responsibilities for what? Blake guided him to a waiting area, his voice low. It's Maline Reed. She's been raising my sons in poverty while we built condos. Victor's face drained of color, a rare crack in his composure. That's impossible. She's gone. Blake's eyes narrowed. She never left the city. What did you do? Dad? Victor paced his gold cufflinks, glinting a nervous tell. I protected you. You were 22 with a brilliant future. She was a distraction. A distraction. Blake's voice shook. We were together 3 years. She was pregnant. Victor's tone hardened. She came to me, wanted money. I gave her enough to start fresh. Blake felt sick. You paid her to disappear. Victor adjusted his tie. I offered her a choice. Leave you to your future or ruin it with fatherhood. She took the money. She didn't. Blake countered. She stayed too proud to use your pittance. Victor's expression faltered. She took enough for a bus ticket. I assumed she'd left. Blake's rage surged. That wasn't your decision to make. Victor snapped. I had every right to protect my son's legacy. Blake turned away. Done. We're done here. Back in Maline's room, Blake arranged her transfer to Memorial Heart Center, his voice steady despite the storm within. The ambulance comes this afternoon. The boys will stay nearby. That's just Maline's eyes met his, a decade of loss suspended between them. Wherever you need me, he promised, the weight of their past anchoring his resolve. Hideker stood in the presidential suite's plush living room, his tailored suit traded for a sweater and jeans, softening his angular features. Harper and Piper, their honey blonde hair still damp from a bubble-filled bath, explored the space cautiously, their patched jackets replaced by new coats Warren had sourced. Harper, ever bold, pressed a hand to the glass, his serious eyes tracking the city below. Is this really where we're staying? Piper? Quieter clutched a small backpack, whispering, Can we see Mom from here? Not exactly, Blake said, his fair skin flushed with warmth from the suite's heater, but the hospital's close Memorial Heart Center, where Maline Reed now rested, was across the street. Her surgery scheduled for dawn, Blake's athletic build tensed as he watched the twins, their light-skinned faces reflecting both awe and wariness. Maline's frail image, her medium olive skin, pale, honey blonde hair, limp, haunted him. Her heart failure, a ticking clock. Harper approached the massive TV, hesitant to touch Mom's. Never been in a place like this, Piper added softly. She says, fancy things come with strings. Blake's chest tightened, recognizing Maline's lessons in their caution. No strings, he promised, kneeling to their level, just a safe place for now. Warren entered, tablet in hand, his polished demeanor strained. Maline's transfer is complete, private nurse arranged for tonight. Blake nodded, noting Warren's unease, but focusing on the twins. Explore while I talk to Warren, Blake said. The boys darted to the bedroom, their footsteps muffled by carpet. Blake lowered his voice. Any news on my father? Warren's expression turned neutral. He's called an emergency board meeting, succession planning. Apparently, Blake's jaw clenched. Victor's power play. There's more, Warren hesitated. I ran a background check on Maline. A man, Ryan Lewis, shows up. Harassment, complaints, assault. Conviction released 8 months ago. Blake's blood chilled, and Warren left, and Blake found the twins in the bathroom, bubbles up to their chins, their first proper bath in weeks. Harper, hair plastered to his forehead, asked, Is Warren your friend? Blake considered. He works for me, Piper's soft voice cut through. Mom had a boyfriend once, Ryan. He was nice then mean. He was... Said we weren't good enough for nice things. Blake's hands clenched. Maline's silence about Ryan, now ominous. Later, as the twins slept in the king-sized bed, Blake sat in the darkened living room, his phone glowing with a text from an unknown number. I know where Maline is. Tell her Ryan says hello. Unfinished business. His pulse surged. He called hospital security, ordering increased protection, then contacted his security chief. Everything on Ryan Lewis. Now, Harper's small voice startled him from the doorway, clutching the silver ring. Is Mom in trouble? Blake forced calm. No, everything's fine. Back to sleep. Morning light filtered through Memorial's premium suite, where Maline lay prepped for surgery. Her oval face, less pale, held a fragile strength, her slender frame steadied by monitors. Blake entered with the twins, who rushed to her bedside. Mom, the hotel has a pool, Piper exclaimed, eyes bright. Harper, twisting the ring, added, and room service. Malene smiled weakly, her gaze shifting to Blake, now in casual clothes, a ghost of the college boy she'd loved. Sounds wonderful, boys. Give me a moment with your mom, Blake said. Alone, Malene's voice trembled. If something happens in surgery, promise you'll care for them. Blake moved closer, his intense eyes softening. Nothing's going to happen, Maddie, but I promise. She swallowed hard. There's something about Ryan Lewis. He was obsessed, thought the boys were his. Blake tensed. I know. He sent a message last night. I've got security. Malene's heart monitor spiked. He tried to take them, Blake. They're yours, not his. I know, Blake said, taking her hand. You're safe now. The nurse signaled surgery time. Blake kissed Malene's forehead. We'll be here when you wake up. In the waiting room, Harper's perceptive eyes narrowed. Something's wrong, isn't it? Blake squeezed his shoulder. Your mom's strong. She'll be fine. Piper curled against Harper, their small bodies a unit against fear. 4 hours later, Dr. Keller emerged, mask dangling. The procedure was successful, valve replaced, tissue repaired. She'll recover with care. Blake exhaled, relief flooding him. He woke the twins, their faces lighting up. Can we see her? Harper asked, hope breaking through his guard. In recovery. Malene's eyes fluttered open, seeking her sons. My babies, she whispered, voice rough. Twins took her hands, cautious of the tubes. Blake stood back, a silent vow forming family above all. Later in the waiting room, Blake knelt before the twins. Where will we stay while Mom recovers? Harper asked. Twisting the ring with me, Blake said firmly. My home has room for you both, and your mom when she's released. Piper's eyes widened. Not the hotel. Blake smiled. A real home. Harper's cynicism softened. What if your father doesn't want us? Blake's tone was resolute. My house. My rules. The hospital's coffee machine hummed its warmth, a faint comfort against the snow outside. Blake's phone buzzed. Warren reporting Ryan's sighting in the parking garage. Blake's resolve hardened. Whatever Ryan planned, he wouldn't touch this family. Malene's recovery, the twins' trust, his own redemption, it all hinged on protecting them. The ring still on Harper's chain glinted, a symbol of a past reclaimed and a future fought for. In life's coldest moments, kindness forges family. Blake's vow to Harper and Piper shows love endures. Rebuilding what was lost. Cherish those who stand by you. Family is worth every fight. Comment a story of family strength below. Join kindness in real life. Hit like to keep these heartfelt tales alive.